We have all faced moments when the past refuses to stay behind. It comes in the form of unpleasant memories, regrets, or remorse about the decisions we once made. We often get stuck in thoughts of what if I had made a different choice? What if everything had gone differently? It seems that living here and now becomes impossible, as the past, like a heavy burden, prevents us from moving forward. But what if I told you that letting go of the past is actually easier than it seems? This process can become natural if approached with the right mindset and awareness. Before learning to let go of the past, let's understand why we so often cling to it. For many, the past is a comfort zone, even if it is filled with pain and disappointments. It is familiar. It is easier for us to endure old grievances and mistakes than to face the uncertainty of the future. Our mind, paradoxically, often prefers familiar pain over the fear of the unknown. By nature, a person tends to avoid everything new and unfamiliar. Even if our past is filled with negative emotions, it gives us a sense of control. We already know what happened and how to deal with it. But what will happen in the future? That is a big question. Thus, by holding on to the past, we try to protect ourselves from potential new disappointments and mistakes. Here is an important point. Our past is just memories. They are real only in our minds. They no longer exist in the present. They are just thoughts that we keep replaying over and over. In reality, the past no longer has a direct influence on our lives, except for the significance we assign to it ourselves, and this realization is the first step towards freedom. One of the most powerful ways to let go of the past is forgiveness, and this applies not only to other people, but also to ourselves. Sometimes the most difficult person to forgive is ourselves. We may blame ourselves for the mistakes we made in the past, for the wrong decisions, or for not having done something better. These thoughts can haunt us for a long time, preventing us from feeling worthy of happiness and success. The famous writer and philosopher Leo Tolstoy once said, "Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves." This quote reminds us that change begins within. Forgiveness is not a weakness. It does not mean that you justify your mistakes or the mistakes of others. Forgiveness is the realization that holding on to pain and resentment makes no sense because it prevents you from living in the present. Forgiveness is not an instant process. Sometimes it takes time to fully let go of old grievances and disappointments, but with each small step, you will feel how it becomes easier. Start by realizing that you are not the person you were in the past. You are changing, and that is okay. Your past mistakes do not define who you are today. We often confuse our actions with our identity. If you have ever done something wrong or made a mistake, it does not mean that you are a bad person. We all learn from our mistakes, and this process lasts a lifetime. Mistakes are just a part of the journey, not a definitive measure of our worth. One of the best examples of this is the story of basketball legend Michael Jordan. At the beginning of his career, Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, which was a great disappointment for him. But instead of getting stuck in that disappointment, he used it as motivation for growth. Jordan became a symbol of perseverance and determination. His path shows that our failures can become a springboard to success if we do not allow them to define our future. It is important to remember that you can always start with a clean slate. Your personality and worth do not depend on your past mistakes. Every day is a new opportunity to choose what kind of person you want to be. Your past does not hold you back. It is up to you to choose whether to hold on to it or not. One of the powerful methods for working with the past is the technique of rewriting history. This approach involves revisiting your past events from a new perspective. For example, if you have ever experienced pain from a breakup, try to reconsider that experience through the lens of growth. Perhaps this breakup has given you the opportunity to better understand yourself and your needs in relationships. This technique is based on the idea that we assign meaning to events from our past. We can choose how to interpret them. If there were moments of pain or failure in your past, try to look at them as lessons that helped you become stronger and wiser. Let's take an example. If you have lost your job, instead of thinking, "This is the end of my career," tell yourself, "This is an opportunity to find what truly inspires me." This approach helps to avoid getting stuck in negativity and to use the past as a resource for the future. Resentment is another form of being stuck in the past. When we resent someone, we hold on to these negative emotions like poison. This poison taints our thinking, our relationships, and even our physical state, often without us realizing how much it weighs us down. Resentment is like an emotional suitcase that we carry with us, often without realizing how much it weighs us down. However, resentment, like other negative emotions, is of no benefit. On the contrary, it only deprives us of the energy that we could direct towards more productive things. To let go of resentment, one must first realize that it primarily harms you. The person you are resentful towards may not even be aware that you are experiencing these feelings, and you continue to carry this burden inside you. Forgiveness does not mean justifying another person's actions. This means that you no longer want to allow this action to control your emotional state. freeing yourself from resentment. You. Make room for new emotions and new opportunities. Visualization. It is a powerful tool that can help you let go of the past. Try to close your eyes and imagine your past as a suitcase that you constantly carry with you. Visualize how you place this suitcase on the ground and slowly walk away from it. Feel how your body becomes lighter, how you become freer. This technique may seem simple, but it really works. When you start to imagine letting go of your old grievances, mistakes, or regrets, your mind gradually becomes accustomed to the idea that it is possible. The more often you practice visualization, the easier it will be for you to emotionally let go of what no longer serves you. You can use this technique every day. For example, before going to sleep or in the morning when you wake up, take a few minutes to realize how you are freeing yourself from what is no longer needed in your life. Over time, this will become a natural process for you. Another important aspect of letting go of the past is working with feelings of guilt. We can blame ourselves for the mistakes we made, for the wrong decisions, or for not doing something in time. But guilt, like resentment, is a destructive emotion that keeps us imprisoned in the past. To let go of guilt, it is important to realize that we all make mistakes. This is part of the human experience. No one is perfect, and it is impossible to live a life without making any mistakes. The main thing is not to avoid mistakes, and learn from them. Instead of blaming yourself, try asking yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Forgiving yourself is an act of accepting your imperfections. When you forgive yourself, you allow yourself to grow and move forward. This does not mean that you ignore your mistakes, but it means that you do not allow them to hold you back from future successes. An example of the incredible ability to let go of the past is the story of Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison for his fight against apartheid in South Africa, Mandela had every reason to harbor resentment and hatred towards those who caused him so much pain. But when he was released, he made an astonishing choice. He forgave all his enemies. Mandela understood that if he held on to hatred, it would destroy not only him, but also his country. Instead, he chose the path of reconciliation and forgiveness, which made him an example for the whole world. He often said that by letting go of hatred, he freed himself. This example teaches us that forgiveness and letting go are not weaknesses, but incredible strengths. Mandela used his pain and suffering as a source for growth and creation, and this path is open to each of us if we are willing to let go of our grievances and move forward. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to let go of the past is to start practicing gratitude. When we focus on what we can be grateful for in the present, our attention automatically shifts from the negative events of the past to the positive aspects of the present. Try starting each day by writing down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be simple things such as sunny weather, the support of a loved one, or a delicious breakfast. Over time, you will notice that the practice of gratitude helps you feel more positive and approach the past with greater ease. Research shows that gratitude positively affects our emotional state, reduces stress levels, and helps us to be happier. When you are in a state of gratitude, it becomes easier to let go of old grievances and negative memories. Letting go of the past does not mean forgetting it or ignoring it. It means acknowledging that it was there, but it no longer has power over you. You are not your mistakes or failures. You are your choice today. It is within your power to choose to live in the present, not in the past. Each of us can learn to let go. It is a process that requires time, patience, and mindfulness. But this is a process that will bring you inner freedom and allow you to move forward without the burden of the past. What steps are you willing to take today to start letting go of your past? When can you use this experience for your personal growth? Share your thoughts in the comments, as discussing these topics can be the first step towards your liberation. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye everyone.